Hello, and welcome everyone to the debut episode of The Swarm. We are here live on The Hive. It is me, JPJ, and I am here with my co-host. Not just once a week here, you're going to be getting a double dose a week here with my friend CJ. How are you doing today, my man?
Well, good. How are you doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. I'm excited. We've had this in the works and the plans for a little bit now, and it is here. And we are here. This show will be being released, like I said, not once a week, but twice a week. We will be Wednesdays and Friday mornings for our Australian friends. And then for our American friends, we will be released on Tuesdays and Thursdays, most likely in the evening time with the time change and stuff of that nature. You will see CJ and I on Tuesdays or Wednesdays talking pro sports, which is what we're going to be talking about here today. And then you will get us on Thursday nights / Friday mornings where we're going to be talking pro wrestling. Now, I know you've heard us, you've seen us talk pro wrestling. CJ's written a bunch of stuff pro wrestling, but we wanted to talk pro sports too because we are both very passionate about pro sports. We're both very passionate about Boston pro sports. So, we're going to be talking about all sports. We're going to try not to be too big a homers here, but obviously, from time to time, and by time to time, I mean every show, it's going to lean Boston. All right. That is what it is. If you don't like it, I want you to stay, but I get it. You know what I'm saying?
People are probably happy with the downward spiral the city is taking after all.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like
everything,
Yeah, this should be enjoyment for you people. You're going to probably hear us yelling
Yeah.
most of the time or being upset. But, yeah, so this is the pro sports episode of the show. That will be the Wednesday, Tuesday show. Did that backwards. But before we get into the meat of today's episode, we're going to be talking some NBA finals. We're going to be talking there's a lot of big names being rumored out there that could be moving. Our Celtics have a few of them, but you got real big names. Giannis, Kevin Durant. There's a bunch of rumors, so we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk some pro football. We're going to run the gamut here. We're going to do that. But before that, we are on the Hive, and y'all need to be following and supporting the Hive. The Hive _media, all social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. There's more than that, but those are the big three. So go follow us. The Hive _media, all platforms. So go do that. We launched this week. You were a part of the first show that launched on the platform here with your Impact show with Josh. How was that for you? That was the first time you ever saw that show.
First time I've ever saw it. It had 7 Hulk Hogan segments, so you can imagine how that probably was for me.
Sounds like Hulk Hogan, Sounds like Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yes, so go back and watch that. We also are on Substack with our pal Bryn already put up a great little article over there, and we're going to have stuff over there too. You've seen some of the Buzz launched here as well so far this week. So there's some big stuff here already and some bigger stuff coming down the line. The Hive is
Peggy also on the Substack.
Yeah, Peggy is also on the Substack. She's going to be doing a lot of video game reviews and video game stuff. Plus, she can talk some wrestling, talk a whole bunch of stuff, entertainment. She's a jack of all trades, that one. So yeah, there's good stuff all around. So make sure you're following, subscribing, hitting that like button, hitting the bell for notifications so you get the notifications when we got all our stuff coming out. We got a special group here, so we're all excited and we're glad it's here. So, all right. Now that all the fun stuff is taken care of, the bills are paid, CJ.
They are.
We officially have ourselves an NBA Finals matchup, and I'm sure it is the Finals matchup that the league and the offices were hoping for.
Two of the biggest markets.
Oh, my God, the two giant markets of the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers.
Yes,
I would think a finals matchup that nobody predicted at the beginning of the season. And if you say you did, you are a liar.
Maybe the Thunder.
Maybe the Thunder. You think they would pick the Pacers?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so. No.
Exactly. So, obviously, we have our personal feelings aside. But what do you think about the matchup in general? Yeah, how are you feeling about this finals matchup? I mean, the Thunder were the number 1 seed in the West all year, basically. They were the best
league.
team in the league. Dominant home record. They've only lost 1 game at home in the playoffs. They are averaging playoff home wins so far, CJ, by almost 15 points a game. That's how dominant they have been at home all year. So a lot of people expected the Thunder to be here, but the Pacers, obviously the East was not really, for a long time, it wasn't that open.
No.
A lot of people assumed it would be a certain team, and obviously that didn't go that way. I'm sure we'll talk about that on its
But
own.
we'll get there.
We'll get there. But how are you feeling about this finals matchup in general?
Real quick, a stat I saw on the Thunder. I believe they're 80-18 this season or something like that. If you count the playoffs, that's just absurd.
Yeah.
I'm with the most, like in the majority. I would say it's hard not to see how the Thunder lose, providing everybody stays healthy, obviously. But we've down on the Pacers in probably every series they've had this postseason. So, and last season, you don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals twice in a row by accident. They beat a better, you would think, Bucks team, a better, you would think, Cavs team, a better, you would think, Knicks team. But I would love for them to win, but I don't see how the Thunder don't win. It's hard to beat them 4 times.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, the team that we both are very passionate about and root for is in the East. And I will say that, like, the Pacers are the only other team in the East that, like, I don't loathe.
No. Yep,
so I mean, yeah, I would be totally okay with them winning this series. I hope it's a competitive series, because I'm going to be honest with you. We're sitting here a day and change before game 1. I think it could be a massacre. I really
don't
think
know
it
if
could
it
be a
goes past
massacre.
5, to be honest.
Yeah, like, I think it could be real bad. Like, everything that Indiana is good at, the Thunder are good and better at. So
And
I
they have a
feel
historic defense as well.
exactly. The defense is historically good. They were incredible. The only, I mean, listen, like you said, you don't get to back-to-back Eastern Conference just any conference championship without being a good team. So anybody that is like, and I maybe us saying it's not going to go more than 5 or saying it's a massacre is underestimating the Pacers, but, like, I feel like we shouldn't be underestimating the Pacers. I'm talking about, like, just the quality of teams from top to bottom. And I just think that the Thunder are so much more talented than the Pacers. I do like the Indiana Pacers head coach, though, and Rick Carlisle.
Champion.
And
he's beaten a super team before he beat LeBron with the Mavericks.
Yes, he has. He's going to Hall of Fame coach. Still, obviously, as he's shown, still can do it at a top high level. I might give the coaching advantage to the Pacers, because Carlisle's been there. He knows what to do. He knows what it takes to win. And he knows what it takes to win against a better team, like you just said. Like, so he knows how to do this. He's done it before. But, man, yeah, I look at this Thunder team and I'm like, man, I can't see it going like you. Like, I would be not shocked, but I can't see it. Like, I see the Thunder winning in 5, maybe even earlier.
I think the problem is we're not disrespecting the Pacers. It's more a pro Thunder than negative Pacers
100%.
opinion, right?
100%.
I just think the Pacers offense is too good. If they get, it's almost like the Celtics. We'll get to that again later. When we are hitting threes, no team in NBA history is beating. Like opening day against the Knicks, do you remember that? Like 52 threes or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody in NBA history is beating that team. The Pacers have a similar thing with how fast they play. I think they'll get too hot in a game or two to make it go 5 or 6. I don't see them getting swept because the offense is too good to be completely held down for 4 straight games. But the Thunder they seemingly have an answer for everything.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, yeah, I mean, the Pacers, like you named, like, they beat the Bucks, which they were supposed to beat the Bucks. They upset the Cavaliers, who had a great regular season, but I don't know about you, I never took the Cavaliers seriously at all. And then they beat the Knicks, who, again, congrats on your second round victory.
Raise the banner.
But yeah, like, congrats on that. But, like, again, like, even when the Celtics were down 3-1 without Jason Tatum, I still weren't taking the Knicks that seriously.
No.
So it is what it is. The Pacers clearly had an easier road to these finals, as the East is just easier in general.
Yep.
I think the Thunder pulling through and beating the Nuggets in that 7-game series in the second round, like that was what I needed to see.
It was ass whooping in Game 7 too.
Like I needed to see, like, okay, Thunder are good. They were good last year and they had an early exit. Now they were better this year, but like they need to prove to me that they can win a tough series. And that was it. They demolished the Grizzlies and swept their asses out of the playoffs. Then you have the Nuggets, who are a championship caliber team. They've won before, best player in the world in Jokic. And they fought back and they took them to 7 games. And even though the game was at home for the Thunder, like that's a game you got to see a young team pull through. And like you said, they whooped their ass. So, like, that game was not close.
No.
And then they handled. I expected a little bit of a better fight from the Timberwolves. Not good. I expected more from them, and I expected more from Anthony Edwards too. Listen, he's young. People have bad series. I get it. But I knew I was picking OKC to win in 6 there, so one more win. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I was just expecting more of a fight from the Timberwolves. I think there was like no fight in that.
I think Anthony Edwards could be on a Shea trajectory where this is his last year for Shea, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He kind of learns his lesson. He loses to the better team. He had a good run. He beat LeBron. He beat all these stars. He beat teams maybe he shouldn't have beaten. But they were not beating that Thunder team. But with how Anthony Edwards has that weird thing where he might not be and some people do compare him, but maybe not on the Tatum level, on the the top 5 level, I guess. But he has that like Kobe thing, like that. Like he could be 1 for 19 and he'll hit 4 straight in the fourth quarter and send your ass home, type of thing.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog, and like he's got that pit bull in him where, like you said, like it doesn't matter if he's 0 for the world. Like if he has that ability to go on a stretch where he can just take over, and he's going to want to win more than you do, and 100%. he's gonna make it happen. And again, like you said, maybe that is a good thing. Like this is the series where he's starting to get a little criticized. Even when they lost last year, that was really the coming out party for Anthony Edwards. Where
no one said anything.
No, it was like, holy crap, dude, this kid like took a level up, and they're good.
They swept the Suns too with KD.
Yeah. And I feel like in that series against the Thunder, it was, I heard certain people saying like, oh, he quit during the end of those games and quit. And I'm not saying he didn't or did, but that's been some of the talk. And if you think these players don't pay attention to that type of shit, you're an idiot. They listen.
Especially someone like him.
Oh yeah, they listen and they pay attention. And hopefully that is maybe like another kick in the ass to even get him, because if he can go up even another half level, Jesus Christ, man, like we're all going to be in trouble. But I think, listen, I would love the series to go 6. I would love it to go 7 and just have a great finals with just 2 teams just battling it out. I mean, that's what we all want, especially guys like us who don't have a horse in the race. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. But I think from like you said, this is not a negative Pacers take. No, this is just how good the Thunder are and how they've looked in the playoffs. Like, oh man, it could be a quick one. It could be a quick series.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's not. I think we're due. Even though we enjoyed the finals last year, those finals sucked.
Oh, they were awful.
That was a terrible finals.
Game 4, as a Celtics fan, I'll even say, like, okay, we lost, whatever. It almost seemed like, let's just go win at home. Fuck Dallas. Like, let's just go win at the Garden. That 100%. Honestly seemed what it seemed like. But I think we could get a similar thing with the Pacers being the Mavericks. They could go, all right, we're not going to get swept. We're not going to lose. We're not going to let them celebrate on our home court. They go ballistic Game 4, get their asses sent to them Game 5. That's back in OKC. I think that could be similar.
Yeah. I think the Pacers, they have, and I think Carlisle is a part of it, but they have a certain level of I just think like they're not going to be a team that, even if they're down 3, they're not going to lay down and die. That's just not who they are. They're not going to have, unfortunately, a Game 6 like the Celtics had in New York, where it's a 40-point game at half. Like that's just not going to happen. Right. No shot. Or even if it, like, they're going to fight back. They're relentless.
What I don't think is in the projected 4 wins we think the Thunder get. I don't think we get a 40-50 piece.
I don't think we do.
No. I think maybe a competitive but then like the Thunder go on a run at the end to make it 15 or 20, but it was really like an 8 to 12 point game the whole game.
The whole time. Like Pacers always kind of hang around. They always kind of
they hit a 3 right as they're about to go down by 15. You're like, oh shit, here they come.
Yeah. They just have that mentality to me, and just the way they play. And it really starts with the coach, but it starts with Halliburton, because he's just that type of guy. You could tell in game 1 in that second round against the Cavs, when they were losing in the second half, and that crowd started chanting overrated, that he took that shit personally, and he was like, okay. And
same thing against the Knicks. They were down by almost 30 in game 1. Yep. They pulled the Knicks on us. They did exactly what they did. Exactly what they did.
Yeah. So I think there's I'm hoping for a great series. Yep, and then, there's the other side of it. So all the NBA stuff that's happening outside of the NBA Finals bubble. And it really involves, there are some big names that have been floated out there about potentially being on the move. Now, I know our Boston Celtics, the expectations were that we were going to repeat this year, and it was going to be same as last year. And, we kind of knew that there were going to be changes being made this offseason regardless. Even if we won and it was back-to-back city and great, there was going to be changes. We're not going to be able to afford this team, especially with the new ownership change and things like that. But then what happens in that second round against the Knicks, not just losing the series. That's the least of it, honestly. We lose Jason Tatum for what is most likely going to be the majority. Well, definitely at least the majority. But most likely all of next season, which changes the trajectory of the league, and it changes the trajectory of the Boston Celtics in general. Because you would assume, even if there had to be roster changes made, fine, you're still going to have Jason Tatum. You're still going to have Jaylen Brown. You're most likely still going to have Derek White, and you roll from there. And you figure out the rest. If you got to move KP, you got to move Drew, Al retires, even if you got to move Pritchard, whatever, you build the roster around those 3 guys, and most likely you're going to be okay, right? Now one of those guys is gone.
The main guy.
The main guy, the best guy, the all-NBA 5 years in a row guy, that guy.
Overrated, though.
Yeah, overrated, though. Yeah, totally overrated.
It's not a big loss.
No, of course not. You lose that guy for at least the regular season.
I think you would have to make a deep-ish run. You'd have to make the ECF, I think, even for him to.
Yeah, most likely. Although they said that because he did the surgery so early, which is usually it's a couple days before the guys do the surgery. He did it like immediate, like that night.
12 hours.
Yeah, like that night or early morning they did it. And I guess that improves the chances that it's a quicker recovery.
If you don't let it, again, we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
I'm not a doctor. I have no fucking idea.
But someone, I think it was NBC Sports Boston, spoke with a whatever kind of surgeon does those specific surgeries. If you do it after 48 hours after the rupture, it almost settles kind of, so it takes longer to recover for whatever reason. But if you get into it before it has a chance to do that, it saves months on the back end. So
well, there you go. So maybe if we're going to talk about what the Celtics potentially could do, and everybody in the league, I would say they just the betting sites just came out with all the favorites for where a couple of these, and the Celtics are not the favorites for any of them. So not saying that that's not whatever, but now you turn your and you're like, okay, now there's moves that have to be made anyway. And now you don't have your top 5 guy in the league for a full season. Do you blow it up maybe a little bit more than you were originally intending to, and kind of rebuild because we have Drew Holiday on a big money contract. You have Porzingis for another year under contract. Al Horford you have, but he's also older. I was under the impression that if we did go back-to-back, that Al would probably retire with the back-to-back championships and be like, all right, man, I'm cool. If he still, gets out of there, you make some moves, because one of the names that is being thrown around here is one Giannis Antetokounmpo. I nailed that.
I've heard of him. They did a great job. By
I
the way.
was
That was
nervous about it.
unbelievable.
I nailed that.
That was unbelievable.
We're gonna call him Giannis from now on, but I
Yeah.
just needed to prove to everybody
You had to get it out
that
there.
I could say it.
There were
properly.
rumors you didn't know how to say it. There were rumors.
Yeah,
There were.
but he's one of the big names. Kevin Durant's name has also been thrown out there as well. But I wanna center on Giannis because I live in the Massachusetts area still. I listen to Boston sports radio, and that has been the dialogue here for a few days.
Heated up weirdly over the last couple of days, randomly.
Yeah, yes, it has. Yeah. And obviously, if you're going to be potentially exploring a trade for a person of Giannis's caliber, the name that is being discussed that would go back is Jaylen Brown.
Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown, in case anybody forgot that as well.
Correct. Now, Jaylen Brown clearly is a fan favorite. People adore Jaylen Brown around here, as they should. His mentality, just what he means to the city of Boston on and off the court, because he does a lot.
Amazing in the community.
Yeah, he's going to be a far better. He's going to contribute to society way more off the court by the time his life is over than he will on the court. Like, he's that type of guy.
Especially the Boston area.
100%. 100%. I love that guy. And I love everything he stands for. When the Celtics need somebody to yell and get angry and set the tone, it's Jaylen Brown that sets the tone. Tatum's the best guy, but Brown's the tone setter.
Correct.
And that's how they work well together. But there are some people that are saying, do you trade Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard and Hauser, or Jaylen Brown,
some mixture
to go get Giannis, and then you roll with Giannis and by himself basically next year, but then the year after that you have Giannis and Jason Tatum, and then you can assume that most of the free agents in the league would be like, yeah, I kind of want to go to Boston and play with Giannis.
Those two guys are pretty good, by the
I feel like I would like to play with those guys right there. I'll take the league minimum to go. They got those two guys. Not saying they don't do that with the team we've assembled here, but when you talk about all NBA, like you talk about Jason Tatum, Giannis is all NBA almost every year too. Like Jaylen Brown, for as much as I love him, has been all NBA once. And so it's a different caliber of player. It just is. We're talking about a top 5 to 8 guy as opposed to a top 10 to 15 guy in Jaylen. It's just a different caliber of player.
It is. Yep.
When the thought of trading Jaylen Brown, as a Celtics fan like I am, when the thought of trading Jaylen Brown gets mentioned, how do you feel about that?
In general, you have these guys. Trade Jaylen, you lose in a year anyway. Jason Tatum's out. These are the people I want to speak to here for a minute. Yeah. Trade Jaylen Brown to his hometown of the Hawks for Dyson Daniels or some shit. What are we doing here with that?
Yeah.
What are we doing here with that? I love Dyson Daniels, by the way. Two-way great player. He's like Derek White. He's a great player. Would love to have him. But when you're trading Jaylen Brown, he is the centerpiece of a package for a top 5 to get a player like Jason Tatum or Giannis or Shea or Jokic, Luka. Nico Harrison. This is the type of guy you should have got for Luka, by the way.
Correct.
Especially with how much he'll represent your city and all that great stuff as well. But when you talk about someone like Giannis, as much as we love Jaylen, it's hard. It's hard to say no. Let's be honest. It's hard.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's hard to talk about for me, because I'm like, I love Jaylen Brown.
Me too.
I love Jaylen Brown. Well, we've had a lot of great Celtics, but he's already up there near one of my favorite Celtics of all time. I love that guy, and I just love the way he plays. Go ahead. Sorry.
He brings the Marcus Smart stuff, but at an all-star player level.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the type. You want a guy that's hustling, diving, will die for the ball, will die for the team, will die for the letters on the front of his shirt, but also is a top 15, 20 player in the league. That's a perfect comment. Who the hell would say no to that?
Exactly. And we talked about a little bit the off-court stuff and just his demeanor and the way he carries himself, and he's eloquent and he's smart and he speaks well. It's just everything he brings. And not saying Giannis is not that, by the way, but that's somebody that I think he's just kind of clung to the city immediately, and the city's really clung to him. And I bet you, honestly, if you went around the city of Boston and you talked to 100 diehard Celtics fans and you asked them who their favorite Celtic was, it would be even if not Jaylen Brown might win that vote over
100%.
Tatum just because of the attitude and the way, you know. But if you asked 100 of them who the best player was, 90% of them would say Jason Tatum. Because that's what we're talking about, right? The thought of Tatum and Giannis together, though, does make my nipples hard a little bit.
It does something to me. It does something I probably shouldn't say on a live recording.
Yeah, like I'm feeling they're pretty.
There's something going on. There's something going on in the area.
Yeah. And you know what is another thing about it? And look, we were going to. I'm not going to say we were definitely going to lose that series if Jason Tatum stays healthy, but we were going down 3-1 whether Jason Tatum blows out his Achilles or not.
100%. There was like a 9-point game with a minute left.
Yeah, we're going down 3-1. Now, if Tatum is healthy and they play game 5 like they did, could they get 100%? I could have saw them come back and win that series, but whatever. The reason why they were down 3-1 was because of the way they play. 100%. Missoula ball. Which, when you're hitting your threes, you win by 30 every night. But when you can't hit your threes, you lose and you blow 20-point leads 3 times in a fucking 5-game series.
Or you do what you do in game 6 and lose by 184 points. And the game's over in the first quarter.
As a Celtics fan, we've been watching this team play this way for 2+ seasons, and the only times they lose is when they shoot 73s and miss fucking 50 of them.
50 is being generous.
Yeah, 60. It's the only time they lose games. But it's also the reason why that style of play is dangerous. And for me, even though I love Jaylen Brown, when you're talking about Giannis in general, I think it's a move you need to make. But I also think what intrigues me about doing it is Giannis ain't shooting fucking 33s.
And if he is, I might go to Joe Mazzulla's house and have a frank conversation.
Yes. And I think it forces the Celtics to play differently.
100%.
And I think if they
especially next season without Tatum.
100%. And I think if they played, you know who shot the most 2-pointers in the league this past season? Giannis.
Probably Giannis, yeah.
You know who had the highest field goal percentage and 2-point shots past season? Giannis. You add him in there, and then you have Tatum when he's healthy a year from now. He's the guy that can do anything. And you know what? Not just Giannis shooting 2-pointers and having a good percentage. You know what? Having a threat like that down in the paint does. It opens up like actual open threes and good 3-point shots, not just we're shooting fucking threes all the time for whatever. Like it actually, you know why they won game 5 by 30? Because they were driving the ball to the hoop and kicking it out for 3. They still shot 43s in that game, guys.
Right. 40 is half of what we usually do.
Exactly. But you know what happened? They hit fucking 29 of them because they were open, good, quality shots. Because they were forcing the defense to go and leave guys open, not just dribbling it up, waiting till there's 15. Okay, fucking 30 feet. All right, let's go. It's just not. It's not pretty basketball. And
it is when it works.
Yes, exactly. When the shots are hitting, it's pretty basketball. Right. But so that part of it is I'm almost intrigued more by that than I am. Yeah. Because I think the Celtics need to change the way that they play. Because I just think it's too. Again, the Knicks had no business beating us. No business.
Still hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and if you're not playing Missoula ball and the way that they played, you don't blow those 20-point leads. And I'm not even anti Missoula ball, but like if you go through the first half, okay, and you shot 43s and you hit 12 of them. Where are the fucking adjustments? So in the second half, you're like, hey guys, we're struggling here. We're still going to shoot our threes, but we're struggling here. So can we do this?
Right.
Instead, it's like, nope, just go out there and do the same thing. It's like, well, that's not productive. Like you're a coach, there should be adjustments. Right. And that's the more frustrating. That's the more frustrating thing to me is it's like, if that's how you play, that's how you play. But when it's not working out, fucking change. You don't have to keep doing. Change it up. See if something else works. And that it's really just no, we know better. The computer program tells us that this is the way to do it. We could talk about analytics.
That's a whole pod
on this. That's literally a whole show if you want.
It might be an extended show as well.
Holy shit, man. I will go nuts. And listen, I do think that analytics should be a part of sports. I think
should not be the main part.
Correct. There is something your eyeballs can tell you that a fucking computer program cannot.
Yep.
Okay, what's the moment? You can tell me, oh, well, the three-pointer is the percentage-wise the best shot to take. Okay, well, are there 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter of a game, and it's in front of the opponent's bench who's screaming at you in the crowd on the road in front of a hostile crowd? There were certain elements that the computer can't compute.
Right.
That is human, just human elements. And there needs to be a balance. And we're watching the same shit with the Red Sox. I know it's a different sport, but the Red Sox offense sucks because they hired these bozo driveline people, and they're like, no, don't get base hits. Just fucking hit home runs. Oh, how's that working? How's that working? Because I'm pretty sure we're not hitting any fucking home runs besides Devers. Like, it's stupid. Like, you know what happens when you try to hit singles and doubles and you get a good piece of the ball? You hit home runs.
Or you get what's wrong with getting 2 doubles and the run scored instead of hitting a solo shot? What's wrong with that? And then you have Hall of Famers like Jim Rice giving advice. They're like, fuck that guy. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And computer knows more.
And I know we're kind of switching sports and shit like that, but like, Jim Rice, Hall of Fame hitter, by the way, guys. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame doesn't mean anything.
Hall of Fame hitter is teaching Christian Campbell in spring training, who's a rookie.
Very talented rookie as well.
Yes, very talented, but he's scuffling now a little bit. He's getting he's hitting that rookie wall a smidge. Came out hot, but a very talented 22-year-old rookie who made the club out of spring training. He can kind of play everywhere a little bit. Not the greatest fielder, but he can kind of play everywhere. But Jim Rice, a Hall of Fame hitter, is like pulling him aside and giving him a hitting lesson. And one of these fucking nerds, and I say that with respect, I'm a nerd, but one of these fucking nerds walks by and goes, like, he goes to Campbell after that and he goes, oh, don't listen to him. We do it this way, blah, blah. And Jim Rice is sitting there going, what? And Jim Rice almost got physical with the guy.
Yeah.
Like he stuffed him in a locker, kind of like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay. I don't play pro sports. Clearly, I'm 5'0". I was not built to play pro sports, but I played sports a lot growing up. I love sports. I feel like I know a decent amount about sports. I feel like if I have to choose between a computer program or a Hall of Fame hitter when I want to learn about hitting, I'm going to fucking listen to the Hall of Fame hitter. Maybe that's just me.
What does the Hall of Fame really mean, though? Does that mean you're good at your sport, or?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
I think a MacBook probably knows more than him about hitting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can talk about Hall of Fames too, because that shit's been watered down in all the sports too. I mean, I can go into. I'm going to sound like everyone's going to think that I'm some miserable old like
bastard.
Yeah, which I kind of am, but not to the level that you think I am.
Right.
But like, what has happened to common sense and just like watching the? Can you just watch the game and make an assessment by watching the game?
You know what someone said? Very good point. And it's a little, you have to like bear with me for a second. Someone said, imagine if guys like Larry Bird and Kobe played in this era. The shots they took, the computers would blow up and kill them right there on the spot. But it's I think Larry is a killer. Kobe is a killer. You let him do whatever the fuck he wants in the middle of the game right there.
Yeah. But here's the thing. With Larry and Kobe, if they were doing that and some coach or little fucking analytics guy was like, hey, Larry, you're playing great, but we think that you should be doing this. Larry would look at him and go, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. They would be a killer, but off the court as well, actually.
Yeah. He would look at them and go, I will knock you and get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And Kobe would do the same.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be it. That would be it. The conversation would be over, and they would know, okay, we let Larry do what Larry does. Larry's just going to do what he's doing over here. Yeah, okay. And it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like, in general, when it comes to sports in general, I think we are way too reliant on things that can't take the human element. The human element is what makes or breaks greatness.
100%.
Tom Brady was not the most talented quarterback who ever lived.
He is in one of the least, actually.
Correct. But the work ethic that a computer program can't tell you, and the stones that he
biggest
had,
balls I've ever seen.
biggest balls of all time. Didn't matter the situation on the road, at home, didn't matter. You give him the ball 9 out of 10 times, he's winning the game. A computer program can't show you that.
No, it cannot.
It does not measure heart. It does not measure ball size. You can't. Again, it's just like, it's just so crazy to me how we've gone from, we use analytics. I remember in 2004, Kurt Schilling used to write down his notes every start in a book. That was like early analytics. Right. He was writing notes when he was going against certain hitters. Oh, he's against it, whatever. Right. Like, that's what it should be. Hey, we know
this
you're
guy
really
doesn't hit fastballs.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Hey, this guy's a dead, red dead fastball hitter. Okay, cool. So now I know don't throw him fastballs that much. You know what I mean? Not, hey, this computer program says you should throw this on the first pitch and then throw this on the second pitch and then let's throw this one. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's bad.
Fuck off with that. It annoys the shit out of me. It annoys the shit out of me. And I feel like the only sport kind of that analytics is staying out of for the most part is football, because I don't know how you really can use analytics in football for the most part.
Other than you should throw or run in this place.
Exactly.
That's about it. But
I don't know how you can really have analytics like overwhelmingly take over the game like that.
Right. It's embarrassing in baseball, I would say.
Oh, it's the worst. And baseball is my favorite sport, CJ.
Yeah, I know.
It is my favorite sport. And for decades now, baseball has been trying to find a way to stay. When I was a kid, when we were kids, the Red Sox were the fucking team, man. Like it was the Red Sox and everybody else.
Yeah.
In the Boston area. It was the Red Sox and everybody else. And I get it, the Patriots won a fuck ton, but the Red Sox also won 4 World Series in that 20-year span too. It wasn't, but like, it is great. And especially now, like, the Celtics are great, cool. The Bruins are middling and choke artists, and they're terrible now. The Red Sox, the Patriots have been trash for 5 years, really bad the last 2 or 3.
Horrific.
There is such an opportunity for the Red Sox to take back this fucking town.
And how awful the American League is, especially the American Leagues. Blue Jays are dog shit ass, and we're in second place.
Oh, the Orioles are trash this year. The Yankees are good, fine. You knew they were going to be good. Fine. They got the terrible manager. How they bring him back year after year, I don't know. I don't get it.
Hey, I don't mind it. We're not complaining.
I know. Yeah, I'm not. I don't mind it, because I'm gonna love to see you get eliminated in the first round again and blame everybody but him. But like, it's there for the taking, and this town is there
right now. Especially everybody.
Yeah, and now with the Tatum stuff, next year's not going to – we might still be an all right team to watch and fun, but we're not going to be championship contenders most likely.
Just like the Patriots, they're going to be way more fun than they fucking have been the last 3 or 4 years.
Of course.
Winning the goddamn Super Bowl.
No. Like,
and
this
the Bruins,
is your
– fuck about that team.
My God. Yeah,
Please
somehow – okay. And listen, I will preface this for anybody that's watching. Ice hockey – I watch, I pay attention, I do root for the Bruins because I'm a homer and I love everything Boston. It is the sport I pay attention to the least.
For good reason.
I know a lot. I know we have an NHL final starting this week as well. It's a rematch, Edmonton and Florida. Marchand is on Florida now, even though I don't like that team because they've been a nemesis of the Bruins. I gotta root for Marchand.
Have to.
And I know I do work for Love Wrestling with some of the wrestling stuff. They're based out of Edmonton. I know a lot of fine people that are diehard Oilers fans. And last year I was rooting for Edmonton. They didn't pull it out. I actually think Edmonton might.
I think they win this year.
I feel like Connor McDavid is a once in a.
It's that, like Peyton
Those
Manning,
guys always win.
0-90 right? In the playoffs, and he's too good not to win one.
Guys like guys like that, revolutionary, once in a generation type dudes. Sometimes it takes a while, but they always eventually win one. And I think that's McDavid this year. I think
Ovechkin did it.
Ovechkin did it. I think that is a McDavid this year. He's playing the same team. But Florida's fucking good, man. Florida plays a way that I wish the Bruins did.
This is the way the Bruins played in 2011 when they beat the Canucks. It's the exact same team.
Like I watch Florida, and Marchand fits them so fucking
Oh,
perfectly.
he's such a
too.
little
It's
bitch. I love him.
disgusting.
I love that little
It's
bitch.
disgusting how much he fits them perfectly. I kind of
Beautiful.
still hope the Bruins re-sign him, to be honest with you.
That would be one of the biggest things ever.
Yeah, if he goes there, wins another cup, he does that, and then we're like, hey, 2-year deal, come
Yeah.
retire with us. He'll be like, yeah, okay. And I'll be like,
Yeah,
all right.
he would do it too. He
Oh,
would
100% he would. 100% he would.
rent them out for a cup and get them back.
He seems like he's enjoying himself down there, though.
Oh,
He
because they're
seems
all
like
little fucking rats like he is.
yeah, 100%.
I love that shit.
So
by
that
the way,
is start. Yeah, go ahead.
Bruins only team in the league without a head coach right now. By the way, all the other vacancies have been filled. Just
I'm gonna be honest.
worst owners and worst.
I could give a fuck. Yeah, because you know what they do. They keep our. Okay.
Jesus.
I love Cam Neely. Legend.
One of the worst executives I've ever seen in my life. By the way.
Don Sweeney was a good player for the Bruins for a long time. They both
awful
have sucked.
Horrific
for a decade.
Some would say they were never good. They just lucked into a cup because that team should not have won a cup. Let's be completely honest.
And that yeah.
Tim Thomas won them the cup.
He fucking stood on his head for a month, and that's why we won. They have drafted so poorly, and yet they just re-signed Don Sweeney like a week and a half ago to a 2-year deal. The last two coaches, we got rid of Bruce Cassidy because he was too mean to the players.
Won a cup 12 months later, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. And then we have the best regular season of all time. And I get it. We choked the fuck out of that. But it was against Florida. They fucking, come on. 3 finals in a row. But still, embarrassing. Embarrassing. Absolute choke job. No. So then we fire Montgomery a month into the season this year. And then he gets a job with the St. Louis Blues, who had one of the worst records in the league when he took over, made the playoffs. You know who didn't make the playoffs? The Boston Bruins.
And got fucked in the lottery and ended up with the 7th pick instead of the
Of course they
pick,
did.
By the way,
Of course they did. Of course they did. Now, is it a fucking coaching problem?
I would say no.
Or maybe is it a player/front office problem?
And ownership. Worst owners in hockey, by the way. We need to do an episode. I just came up with this on Boston sports owners. Some of the biggest fucking shitters I've ever seen in my life. That has to be an.
The only good one. The only good one we had to sell the fucking team because his dad didn't want him to have it anymore.
And now the second one fucked off after he won all these goddamn Super Bowls. Now we're getting jerked off in nightclubs and God knows what else the fuck he's doing.
Messed up. Yeah, I mean let me tell you, don't even get me. I mean, I know we kind of talked about the Red Sox. Don't even get me fucking started.
We'll have an all rant episode as soon as the season start, where the Patriots are going, the Bruins.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna rant every week. That's just who I am.
Especially when they're all going at once.
Oh my God.
This show might not. We need to watch now. We might not be on the airwaves.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm. Why is it by the time this airs, it'll be what, June 4th, 3rd,
4th.
Okay. Why is it June 4th and Roman Anthony is not on the fucking field for the Boston Red Sox?
You know why? It's June 6th is the date where he doesn't lose a year of eligibility. And that's all they care about. Yeah.
Great.
It's June 6th, I believe.
You know what I heard on the radio today by a Red Sox insider? Another reason, they said it's not even really about the eligibility.
Okay.
They know that if they call him up, because it's so early in the season, that he'll finish first or second in the Rookie of the Year voting. And if he does, he loses that year no matter when you bring him up.
Yep. So they want to kind of fuck him either way. They want to bring him up in
July, they want to save money because they're fucking cheap fucks.
Yeah, so they're fucking him out of an extra year sooner on his deal. They'll bring him up.
They're fucking me over, CJ.
They're fucking Red Sox fans.
I gotta watch, and no offense to these guys, I gotta watch Abraham Toro and fucking Rob
series against the Braves.
He did. Listen, again, great player. These guys are serviceable Major League Baseball players.
Right.
They are not everyday starters for the Boston fucking Red Sox. That is not
small market.
When I have to watch lineups and I have to see. Okay, all right. We got Duran. All right, cool. Devers, he's hurt now, but Bregman, okay.
MVP level before his injury.
Yeah, and then it's like 5 through 9.
It is.
It is fucking Connor Wong, Rob Refschneider, fucking
David
Hamilton, Romy Gonzalez,
the bones of Trevor Story.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Trevor Story might have the worst. Again, this is a weird time to say because he actually played great against the Braves. might be the worst contract in baseball. He is a horrendous baseball.
He had a home run against the Braves.
He is a bad baseball player.
But yeah, like again, and he's done. He's washed. It is what it is. He's washed. Do I think he's a good leader? I do.
Oh yeah.
Is he good in the field still? Can't throw from shortstop. I don't know why he's not at second, because he does not have an arm at all. We don't have anybody to play second base. Oh, I have an idea. How about you move the shortstop, who used to be a second baseman, to second base? Because the way he played second base was because he can't fucking throw. And then you know what?
Don't have a first baseman either.
We don't have anybody. We have a shortstop playing third base right now in Marcelo Meyer, who's looked actually pretty all right. And he's, but we have a shortstop who's one of our top 3 prospects, top 10, one of our 3 top 10 prospects in all of baseball, playing third base. We have no first baseman. We have no second baseman. And our shortstop is like 2 for his last 150.
2 home runs though on those 2.
Yeah, that is, the 2 are 2 homers. Like, hey, and the one against the Braves was clutch. It is what it is. But like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Now, you said Meyer was their top 3 prospect and top 10 in baseball. I feel like you guys might have the first prospect in baseball.
Roman Anthony.
Yeah, you know what he's doing right now, buddy.
Yeah, leading off in Worcester for the AAA team.
And batting
fucking
probably
bombs.
7,000. He has over 1,000 batting average somehow.
Somehow. It's unbelievable. I'm just sitting here going, what?
Not good.
My
Blue Jays, hottest team in baseball.
So. Yeah. I mean, do you have a rant about your Blue Jays?
No.
Are they actually the hottest team in baseball right now? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we won 7 out of 8.
Oh, that's good.
31-28 on the season. Second in the AL East, tied for the wild card right now.
That's not bad.
It's the Blue Jays are hard to. You want to blame the owners in baseball because there's no salary cap.
Yeah.
But this team spends the money. They just don't know who to spend it on is the fucking issue. So that's not ownership. Just gives you the pocketbook. The GM is the one who decides where it goes.
Yep. 100%.
The GM's an absolute idiot, Ross Atkins. But again, this is an awful time. Second, third best team in baseball, or not record wise, but like in the last 10 or whatever, one of the best in baseball. I was very nervous, Vlad, and you guys were 1,000% getting Vlad if he left. By the way.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of people around here, maybe myself included, were banking on that. Because that was the rumor that he loves the Red Sox, grew up a Red Sox fan.
That's apparently why they left first base so vacant. I know Casas obviously blew his knee to fucking pieces. Shout out to him. Yeah, that was very sad. But there was a reason he wasn't re-signed yet. And everybody assumed because it lined up with Vlad's free agency. And Vlad has said how much he loves Boston. He loves that short porch in Fenway with the monster.
Oh, he would have hit 50 home runs a year.
And that guy hates the Yankees more than anybody in the fucking planet. He fucking hates the Yankees.
Which I respect.
Fans would love that, obviously.
Well, I respect.
But yeah, so I'm very happy to keep him. And have you seen his deal real quick? We'll get into something else. But it's kind
of affordable. It's not bad at all.
It was all a bonus.
Yeah.
He makes like $9 million a year every year. I was like, oh my god, unbelievable contract. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
So that'll help the team out, and you would think now that because they're probably going to let Bichette walk.
Yep.
I think they let Bo walk, and he'll go somewhere. And he's a good player. I mean, you watch him more. I like Bo Bichette. I think he's a little bit of it, good at everything. Mm-hmm. He's going to walk and go somewhere. So now that you know that you have your superstar player entrenched for 15 years or whatever the hell it was, and you have him on an affordable contract like that, you would think that opens up you to spend some money and get some other guys to surround him with, whether it's on the mound, in the lineup, because you have some other good pieces. Like, again, you'll be losing Bo, but like Varsho's a pretty solid player.
He's been unbelievable.
Yeah. Sure. He's good.
Kirk, we just re-signed our catcher as well.
Yeah,
one of the best contact hitters in baseball. And the better thing too is they're actually playing decent this year. Springer and Gausman. They both come off the books in a year and a half. Well, I guess a year and a half now. So even that's $80 million a year or whatever. And just those two. Bichette probably would have cost you 20 or so. So you're saving almost $100 million on those three guys walking.
Yeah. So I feel like that reminds me of like every year. When it came to the Patriots, Brady would always be like, no, you can give me whatever you want to give me. Let's make the team better. And win. Like that seems like a Vlad type of thing where he's like, no, I want my money. And they were like, well, it's better if you do it this way and we'll just give you all this shit. And then we'll pay you nothing a year so we can build a team. And Vlad's like, okay, yeah, that works for me. So
exactly. And who's going to say no to $500 million in one payment? Like, sure, I'll fucking take. If he didn't take it, they're more than welcome to offer me that. I would play every day.
So they had, the last 2 years, right? They were in on
Ohtani and
Ohtani,
Soto.
and they were in on Soto. So
Which
they
is why you
want.
can't blame the owners. They
No.
go for these guys.
Yeah, they've wanted a big superstar player, I think, on top of Vlad.
Right,
But
exactly.
they wanted a big superstar player for years now. They
Mhm.
went after. They were in the last handful of teams for Ohtani. They were in the last handful of teams for Soto, and they didn't obviously get either of those guys. So I think they were like, you know what, we have a stud here. Give him that fucking money,
Right, exactly.
because he deserves that fucking money. And then now you can, if you're still interested, there's always going to be big time free agents.
Always.
Go get another one or two and kind of go from there. So,
absolutely.
All right. All right. I think the last thing we got to talk about before we get out of here is it's, I don't know. This, I got a fucking guy just fucking doing all sorts of shit right outside my, it's like he knew. He was
Speaking of guys doing shit.
Yeah. Steph Diggs?
What could we be talking about? Yeah.
Talking about Steph Diggs?
Allegedly.
Let's talk about Steph Diggs.
Allegedly.
CJ, how did you feel about that?
I'm going to take people that watch this probably don't. You do. Mike Felger take, I guess I would say here. But unfortunately, a Mike Felger take. That guy's doing something to you. I don't give a shit what a grown man does. And especially because I know OTAs are going on right now, but it is the middle of the offseason, middle of the fucking summer, it's June. If you wanted to smoke weed, if you want to do cocaine once every 6 months to have a good time on a boat, allegedly cocaine, excuse me, go right the fuck ahead. However, maybe tell the girl that you look directly in the camera at, put your phone away. Please don't record me handing you allegedly cocaine. But I'm sure you've seen his videos on Instagram or Twitter. He works his fucking ass off, that guy.
Oh, the work ethic is unmatched.
And while people say he's a diva, name a fucking top 10 receiver in the league ever that has not been a diva. You won't find one.
Correct.
And also, no teammate says he's a diva and they fucking hate him. The young guys love him on the team every fucking where he goes. He was a captain with the Texans. He was there for 6 months. He was a captain of the team. So if you're putting the work in and you're not doing it actively, like on the fucking bench or during the season, and you only do it once a year or something, have fun in Miami on a boat with your rap girlfriend that's an A-list celebrity. Have fun.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a single shit about this video.
Nope. Didn't either.
I could entertain how, like, would I have liked him to be at OTAs?
Exactly.
Sure. But they're voluntary.
He was back today on Monday.
He can't practice anyway. He's coming off a fucking torn ACL.
Right.
So it's not like if he was at OTAs, he's on the field doing drills. He's just going to be standing there.
Right.
So he can't practice. He's not cleared to play. So if it's voluntary and he's like, hey, I'm not coming, that is well within his right, especially being a veteran, to do so. Would I like him to be there? Sure. Sure. Do I think it matters? No, I don't. Now, there's that pink substance. A lot of people are allegedly saying, oh, it's pink cocaine, which I am not an expert when it comes to cocaine. I've never seen pink cocaine.
No idea it was pink in my life.
Never.
No idea.
There were some people that are trying to say, oh, that's a lighter. You can see a lighter logo on the back, whatever. Again, you're a late 20-year-old millionaire wide receiver who's dating Cardi B.
Another millionaire
who's a bigger star than you by leaps and fucking
bounds.
bounds.
Jesus, yeah.
You want to go party, dude? You want to go have a good time on a yacht? Like you said, you want to go party? Live it up. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
The only thing that I can fault Steph Diggs on is what you said. When you see a phone recording you and you know you got, again, there was video that came out today that Cardi B put out that Steph Diggs is in that video having a good time with Cardi B.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a shit about that.
No.
But if you know you got drugs in your hand, bro, you see the phone, you go, put that shit down. Turn that fucking shit off. That better not come out. Delete that right in front of me right now.
100%.
Please. Thank you. Like, that's it. Again, like, I do not care.
It's the boring. Again, you said the Red Sox are kind of dipping into the irrelevancy pool. The Bruins don't have a roster or a coach. The Patriots are the only thing going because the Celtics next year's a goner. So until they trade Holiday or Porzingis, no one's talking about them. You have to talk about something. You have something to talk about. So a star free agency receiver is doing cocaine allegedly on a boat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about fucking Zolak talking about he's heard they're cutting him. Are you out of your mind?
Yes, I heard this on the ride home today, and I nearly lost my mind because I was like, I'll just ask you this question straight up, and I know we're biased because we root for the team, but anybody that's watching, I'll ask you guys this too. If the Patriots keep Steph Diggs, do they look like a joke for keeping Steph Diggs after that? Do they look like a joke?
I would, and I've texted my friend this when the video dropped. If they released him, and again, if there's some other shit going on behind the scenes, if he's
that's different.
If this is exactly what a guy partying on a boat with his girlfriend and allegedly doing cocaine, and you release him, that is Mike Vrabel being a fucking hardo on purpose to try to set a tone that would not be set. By the way, if you bring in any fucking receiver, especially cornerbacks as well, what if Christian Gonzalez is doing the same fucking? And by the way, do you think he's not doing the same thing? He just doesn't have a fucking phone out, probably. By the way, 99% of these star receivers and cornerbacks do dumb shit like this.
Of course.
You're not going to release. By the way, it's not like you have Randy Moss, Wes Welker, and Edelman in the room still. By the way,
no, you need him.
Fuck you. You have nothing. Jalen Pope again is our number one receiver.
You need him. And maybe that's why he knows they need. My thing is, God forbid you release Steph Diggs for something like this, and then he signs on with another team and he has a productive season. You will look like how you've looked the last 3 or 4 years, like an incompetent fucking loser franchise.
That's exactly what we're allegedly not. We have a real coaching staff. We have a owner that allegedly gives a fuck about the team. Who knows? A roster that actually looks like it could be in the top half of the league instead of 30th out of 32 teams.
A laughable schedule, by the way. Laughable. Which will obviously, when the season gets closer, we'll do previews and talk about picks. And a laughable schedule.
One of the worst. This team could play like shit and win 9 games. That's how bad this team. And not because they're good. Because how bad this team.
Every dreadful team that is in the league, we play.
That's the one upside about being asked the last 5 years. Your schedule
unbelievable. That schedule is a joke. Is a literal joke.
Fucking horrendous. This has nothing to do with the Patriots. Again, we'll get into this more eventually, a couple months from now. Drake May could project into a top 5-10 quarterback like we think he can be after last season. None of that could go well. And this team could win 9 to 12 games. Genuinely, that's how off, and then lose by 75 to the Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs. But
100%.
The schedule is so ass. This team has to make the playoffs.
It is wild. I looked at the schedule and I was like, "That's not real." When it first came out, I said, "There's no way that's a real schedule."
You saw those videos of I think it was when Pete Carroll was on the Seahawks. They had the fake release. And they told them they played on Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's, and all this other shit. I thought it was one of those.
Yeah,
I was like, this many shit teams.
I go, there's no way that's a schedule.
No way.
No way that's a real schedule. And then it was like, no, it is. And I was like, how is that fucking real? Like that's like if they let me just willy nilly, hey, pick the schedule, and I was like, okay. Panthers,
you know what I compared it to? And you're again, go to JPJ Loves Gaming on Twitch. Great. College football, big fan of the game. The new game coming out in a couple of months. Next month, actually, you guys know.
Yeah.
It's like when you do your custom schedule. It's like you just put Appalachian State on it and fucking
FCS Northeast,
right? It's
FCS
like
South.
I was like, did they just ask Vrabel who he wants to play?
Literally, like what the hell? But
so
so long story short, because that is kind of the big story in the NFL, honestly, this week, even though it's Patriots related. It's a nothing story. It's a nothing story. Obviously, if it leads to if there are bigger things going on, then to me it becomes a story. And if the Patriots do something idiotic like release this man, Steph Diggs is the biggest wide receiver free agent signing in the history of the team.
Yeah, because Moss was a trade.
Yeah, in the history of the team. And that type of signing, coming off an injury or not, that tells me as a fan that we're trying to win. And if
especially when
a video, yes, and if a video like this, which like 80% of the players, man, that might be lowballing it. 80% of the players in the fucking league do shit like that. They're fucking rich in the prime of their life specimens.
Yeah.
They fucking all do that. You know what I mean? Like
in every sport, by the way, not just the NFL.
No. Please, NHL,
Right.
it snows more than
Oh,
it does in the winter in New England.
oh,
It is what it is. But again, I can't fault him. If I was a rich, young stud athlete, guess what I'd be doing? Drugs.
oh yeah, all of them.
Drugs.
Actually, every drug.
In
I
the
would know
off-season,
that cocaine was pink. Let's just say that. I would know that. I would
in
know.
the off season, your boy would be having a good time. I'd be having a good time.
Yep.
So it's a nothing story to me
Nothing.
until it becomes a bigger story. Hopefully, not out of the Patriots' stupidity
Please
or
not.
out of Diggs' stupidity.
Yeah, let's cut the cameras off next time you're doing that on a boat, please. If you don't mind.
Exactly. That's all. That's all. You see, you got bad stuff in your hands, or you're doing bad stuff. Tell the person to put the camera away. Have all the fun in the world you want.
Do it all.
Just whatever, dude.
Please.
All right.
A little smart.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to wrap this one up. I know we kind of went a little bit of everywhere, but we had some NBA Finals talk. We definitely talked a lot about the trade rumors with the Celtics and stuff like that. We talked some baseball. We talked some Steph Diggs and some NFL. Obviously, as we get closer, now every team's doing their OTAs and stuff like that. Preseason is around the corner, less than 2 months away now. We'll be getting into schedules, division previews, picks, and all that fun stuff. We're getting into the heart of summer for baseball. We got both finals in the NBA and NHL. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. You a big college football guy?
Huge college football fan.
Okay, good. So
LSU fan.
What is it?
LSU.
LSU. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we kind of have matching purple, like not the same chair, but purple.
Yes.
We didn't even plan that.
No,
we didn't even plan that. That's just how good we are. Anyway. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we didn't go too crazy on you with the Boston stuff, but listen, that's going to be the show, guys. All right, that's going to be the show.
Especially with how the teams are going. There's going to be a couple of rants every episode. Guaranteeing.
Yeah. There's not going to be an episode on this pro sports aspect that you see where I'm not bitching about something happening to one of my teams. That's just it. It is what it is.
That's what you get here.
Yeah, this was a fun first episode. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Like we said at the beginning, the Hive _media, all social media platforms. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe, comment on the video. That helps as well. So all that fun stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed this first edition of The Swarm. Like we said at the top, for our Australian friends, this will launch Wednesday morning, and then our wrestling episode will come out Friday morning. For our American friends, as CJ and I are both Americans, for our American friends, Tuesday and Thursday evenings, probably around dinner time, early evening time. That is when these shows will come out. So we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you continue to enjoy it. And we will see you all in a few days for our pro wrestling. We're going to be talking Money in the Bank preview, everything that went down on Raw and all that fun stuff. So it should be a good time. Looking forward to kind of doing this a couple times a week with you, my man. This was fun for the first time. I know we had been waiting for it, and the anticipation was building. But I thought 1 for 1, I would say. I thought we did pretty good today.
Yeah, and going forward, it's obviously be more subjects, I guess, to say. We're just kind of introducing all of our loves and topics. I guess hates in the case of most of ours. We hate our teams more than everybody, by the way. There's no one that hates the Patriots and Bruins and Celtics more than we do. Just so you guys are aware.
Correct.
Yep.
And I probably also hate most of your teams. So I might
guarantee I hate all of your teams and all of your players.
So
actually,
I'm gonna try not to talk too much shit, but I'm gonna be talking shit.
If the Patriots, hopefully this goes on forever. If we get back to Boston winning every year, this will be the most annoying podcast you've ever listened to in your life.
We'll probably get famous because everyone in Boston will eat it up. But everyone else is going to be like, "Here we go." And an hour long of them talking about how great they are, and we'll be like, "Yes, it is true.
We're better than you."
Yeah, CJ, anything to plug?
No, just stay tuned with the Hive. Me, JPJ, Josh, everybody, Bryn, Peggy, Stu, Jamie, everybody.
We got a lot of stuff.
And the one thing we didn't mention earlier is if a Jaylen Brown trade, God forbid, happened, if a Giannis trade happened, we will be live as soon as we possibly can that night, that day, that 2 a.m. if we were both available. Who knows?
Yeah.
Also, if the Celtics playoffs are far away, but Patriots, if we're both available on a Sunday, watch alongs for those games as well, stuff like that. So we will be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is going to be big things like that and things like that. We're going to try to be as live for breaking news as we can be because, in sports, there's always breaking news somewhere. So definitely going to be doing that as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Follow the Hive. We got stuff dropping every day here on the Hive. So give us a follow. Click the bell for notifications. Click the notifications on, and you will be getting great content from the great team that we assembled here every day. That is the Hive_media once again on all social media platforms. For CJ, I am JPJ. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in a few days talking some pro wrestling. So we will see you then. And until then, peace out.
See you.